But how do I see your screen?
I just have to share it. It's not shared right now, so I just share it. So now you should be able to. Now you should be able to see it, right?
All right. Yeah. Okay. Since it's just the two of us, it's interesting platform, this MoneyChat.
Yeah.
I kind of discovering as I go the limitations it has. I mean, even though there's a fewer and a fewer of them.
Right.
And I'm sort of like trying to put together some ideas on the chatbots that could be done. Is there any for the restaurants? Because I asked you on the restaurant. You
Right.
run the restaurant demo bot, yeah?
Yeah, that's one of my bots. Yeah.
Yeah. And because I asked you about the bookings, and meaning that I thought it would be good to book a table on a certain times, but linked with Google Calendar, for example. But I sort of
yeah, you can do that already there. So if you just do something, if you look at this bot and you just do something like this keyword suggest here, which is book a table or dinner reservation or make reservation or reserve a table. So if you do something like that to the bot, then you'll see you can actually do that. So if I say book a table, then this is basically going to put me into this flow right here that says, sure, you can book a table.
I don't see it. Hold on. I don't see. How do I see? I don't see anything.
You're not seeing my screen right now?
I seeing your meeting should start in a few seconds. That's what I see.
Well, I'm totally sharing my screen. Jesper, do you see my screen?
Yes, I see your screen.
Okay, so Jesper, you see it. So maybe you just need to refresh the meeting because I'm totally sharing my screen and you should be seeing it right now.
How do I? Because I can't control my screen, so I have to say stop share.
Yeah, you shouldn't be sharing.
Now I see the keywords and I see some workplace of MoneyChat. I see your thing. Okay. Yeah, now I see.
So you see this keyword here. This goes into this flow right here. Okay, so this goes into this flow right here, and I'm just muting you, Jesper, because it seems like you're not using a headset and there's feedback coming into the mic. So if you want to talk, just let me know, Jesper, and I'll unmute you. It's just creating some feedback having you unmuted.
Yeah, sounds great.
So anyways, you see, I sent that book a table to that restaurant bot, and he put me in that flow and said, sure, you can book a table. How many people will be in your party? Let's say I got a party of 5. And so then he's going to go in, he's going to continue the flow. Now, ManyChat's actually running a little bit slow today. So if you look, he should have already went into this after a 1-second delay. And you can see that he hasn't went through here, but there's a few reasons for that. So one of the reasons for that is because this bot right here, this is the restaurant bot. This guy gets pretty flooded as far as getting messages because he's a demo bot, and pretty much everybody in the ManyChat community goes in and sends him a bunch of messages. So you can see now he's actually going to fire that. He's going to fire that new additional message here. So you can see he's wanting to fire that message, but like I said, right now, so there you go. You see he fired that message now. That guy right there, he just fired this message. So now you can give him, let's say, today at 3 p.m. So now he's going to go in and actually do the same thing again. He's probably going to be a little bit delayed because, like I said, ManyChat for the most part right now is just running a little bit delayed right now. I think it's something with the traffic coming in on their boxes and also the traffic coming in on my particular bot. I mean, it could always be a Facebook thing as well. So it's Facebook, because ManyChat, obviously, the only way that they can actually operate is whenever Facebook is sending data through their API to them. So also if Facebook gets delayed and overburdened, and plus the fact that their messenger platform is still in beta, it's still in development. So sometimes they just completely have outages. So there's several dependencies there. But so this guy should be going in now and firing out this. He should be going in now and firing out this other flow right here. That just basically says, great, I've booked a table for you here. And then after he does, as soon as you give the second input, then he basically triggers a zap called make reservation. And then that zap is what actually goes in and does the actual reservation. So looks like now he's going to finally fire off that message. And then while he's firing that off, if I actually look at this zap called make reservation, let's see. I don't know where that reservation's at, so let me see if I can find this reservation guy. What he does is he just fires a zap that goes in and does the actual reservation. So I'm going to assume maybe it's this guy right here. No, can't be that guy. It could be this guy right here, actually. That schedule appointment. And what was that zap? I don't think that's the correct zap. That's make reservation. So it's definitely not that guy. It's one of these zaps. So one of these zaps goes in and makes a reservation. Honestly, I'm just not seeing the guy right now that makes a reservation. But yes, it's totally possible. If you want, we can just go through it, and I can do it over again if you want to see exactly how to actually do it. Yeah, it does go to Google Calendar, by the way, Jesper. I just honestly don't see where I put that. I don't see where I put that particular zap. I got MakeBot Sparta, that one there. I don't see where exactly I put that zap, so I've lost that zap. But he pretty much does. I'll show you with this one. He pretty much does it. He pretty much does it just like this other one does. He pretty much does it just like this guy does right here, this schedule event. So I'm going to look for him one more time. If I don't see him, then I'm just going to go in and show you that one. So he pretty much does exactly what this guy does. So a zap is fired to schedule some appointment, and then he goes in and actually creates a detailed event. So he goes in and just fires something out to Google Calendar. So, and this guy said he was actually done. And I'm assuming that this guy probably was actually put on some calendar here. But I think I'm probably in this wrong account here because this guy would have came from... Nope, that guy came from John at tier 5. I really don't know what I did with that zap.
No,
But you can,
don't worry about it. Yeah, I realized that I can unmute myself. No, don't worry about it. It was. Yeah, I was testing this, and the Google Calendar wants to have the beginning and end of the session of the reservation and all these things.
yeah. It just sends it to Google Calendar now, so you can obviously integrate with other calendars that are supported by Zapier.
Yeah. I will have a look. And then when you trigger the thing in the action thing, it names the Zap, or it doesn't, because the name's here. I mean, you just created yourself, but where else is this name coming?
So you create this yourself, okay? So this triggers app, you give that whatever name that you want, you create it yourself, and where you use it at is you use it at in the ManyChat app, where whenever you select ManyChat, you're going to select new trigger a Zap event so that you can handle that Zap that's just happened, and then once you click that, you're going to authenticate which one of your bots is going to be sending you that Zap, and then here you're going to come in at the actual options for this template. You're going to pick any of the Zaps that are
so the reservation, for example, or something like that. Okay, yeah.
Correct. And if I could find that other Zap, you would see that it's connected to
but now I understand the logic where the Zap goes to.
Yeah, it just goes to Zapier, and you handle it here. So I've got a lot of different Zaps that are doing that. Like, for example, this random joke right here. This random joke does the same thing. It's whenever a Zap is triggered, and that Zap would be a Zap called Get Joke. So, so in one of these bots, which I think it would be this bot right here, I've got some keywords probably called joke. See, joke. Pretty sure I just messed that up too because I slipped.
Yeah.
Let's see, I must have a random joke here. No, but actually, let's just test that real quick and see if that's still working.
I have a question, John, when you are finished there.
Yeah, what's that?
I was just wondering, how do you get, if people order more than one thing in your restaurant, they order both burger and something else. How do you trigger? Do you trigger a SAP for each thing they order? Or can you collect all the data and send only one SAP?
So I'll show you that exactly how that's done. Okay. So first I'm gonna check out here. Okay. And doesn't look like anything's going there. Like I said, again, ManyChat is just kind of being a little weird today. But
yes, it is.
If you look here in this automation, I've got some keyword called checkout. So this checkout should have actually fired something. Okay. This checkout here should have fired this guy right here. It should have fired this flow right here. All right. But it didn't. And I know that I've got another keyword here called restart order or clear order. And I can see that that also didn't do anything like it should have done. But now there's that let's get you checked out. Okay, so there that finally actually fired off after a delay. That did fire off. So he says, hey, now he tells me my order has been cleared. Okay, so first let's do that checkout again and see if that will fire again. So now he's going to say, hey, let's check out. And right now I actually need to add some conditional logic to that process right there to look and see if he has an actual order. But this guy can't check out. This guy can't check out right now because he literally has no order. So let's look at our food menu real quick. Let's look at this drinks. So I'm going to get some drinks and I'm going to order a drink. So I'm going to order this margarita because I don't like martinis. So I'm going to add this thing to your order. Now, really, my issue right now is just the actual time delay from MiniChat, which is killing this session. But so what's going to happen is, do I want to add this to your order? Yes. So now you're going to get some confirmation back. So now I still have to wait for this delay. Okay, now this delay is just going to give me a confirmation that this thing has been actually added to my order. So to show you that while we're waiting, why we're waiting is, let's just look at this menu. I'm pretty sure I'm going to confirm adding that to my order again, and that's going to add it actually 2 times, but it's real delayed right now. So let's look at that drink. Let's look at that drink menu. Okay, so now you can see here what happens whenever you click on this add to order button. So you see, you click on this add to order button. Let's say you click on this margarita add to order button. So now I'm just going to give you this message, confirm add to order. So now if you hit yes, I'm going to do this action group. This action group is, I have a custom field called food order that holds whatever item that you just decided to order. That holds that. So I'm gonna set that custom field's value to whatever this item is that you just ordered. So you ordered this margarita, so I'm gonna set it to that. Now I also have a custom field called item price, which holds whatever item you just ordered. It holds their price. So I'm going to do the same thing there. I'm going to set that price to 7 because that's what that guy was. He was 7. Okay. Now I have a trigger zap. I'm going to do this zap called add to order. Okay. So now in this, and hopefully I did something that I include in the training for you guys that I tell you to do, which is actually sort everything and name everything properly so that you can easily find stuff whenever you want to. And I'm hoping that I did that for this. Yeah, there's add to order. So you see this zap is fired. So you can see that this guy has replied back to me that a margarita 7 has been added to your order. Okay. So now let's go back to our food menu and order an appetizer. Now he was added to my order twice. You see, there was a second time because he asked me and I confirmed twice. So he was ordered twice. And you see how slow MiniChat's being right now. He's totally delayed in my small bites and actually serving back up my content of that small bites menu.
A lot of people are having troubles with MiniChat and have these last few days, I think.
Well, you'll continue to have problems a little bit, especially as they update their functionality. I mean, unfortunately, I run a software company. It's what I do in my day job, and unfortunately, sometimes there are issues. And at the same time, you never know if it's their fault or if it's actually Facebook's fault.
No.
It could totally be their fault, but it's also expected whenever it comes to new technologies.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's aggravating as hell, especially if you're paying for the service. But,
yeah, exactly. That's the problem.
I mean, it's aggravating me right now because it's a huge delay for this demo. I mean, you see, I just asked him for that. Now he still hasn't given me back the other content. So you can see I've clearly asked him for this other guy. You see right now, it looks like just their whole server is overloaded right now. Okay, so now he's finally giving me back my content. Okay, he's giving me the fact that there's some mozzarella sticks, and then there's something.
Vážené paní poslankyně, vážení páni poslanci, je 15:30 a vážení členové vlády, omlouvám se.
Okay.
He showed me something else. So now that site can't actually be reached right now. So it tells me actually ManyChat actually can't be reached right now, which is awesome, ManyChat. So that means that this isn't gonna work. But this is really indicative, especially. Okay, see what these guys do is these guys push out. These guys go in and they build out a lot of new functionality, a lot of updates, and then how they push out their updates is first on like a limited beta. So they'll go in and have a bunch of updates, and they'll even post in their Facebook page like, hey, we've got all these updates. If you want them, then, just give me your page ID and we'll push them out. So then what they do is they go in and actually push out updates on like a real beta process. And then what it seems like is once that beta has been there for like a week or so and they've got all the feedback from the user, they actually push it out as an update to everybody else as like a core update. And whenever that happens, this happens right here. So while we're waiting on ManyChat to come back to the real world, I'll just show you this. This is the zap that was triggered from these buttons. Whenever you click this button, add to order. So once you click this button, add to order, literally what it's going to do is pop up another little message and ask you, do you want to add this to your order? And you click yes. The only reason that it does that is because whenever I built this, ManyChat didn't have this continue automatically at the end of the flow. So in order to trigger an action at any given time, you couldn't trigger an action at any given time. You actually had to have some button or some quick reply or some user input in order to actually trigger an action. Now they've added this continue automatically to the end of any flow, which means you can just stop your flow, then hit continue automatically, and then send a user to an action group to do your action. So I could technically remove that message and confirmation out now if I rebuilt to their current flow. So anyways, in the flow right now, you hit that yes, and whenever you hit that yes, it triggers this zap right here, okay? You can see that it's triggered this add to order zap from this demo restaurant bot, okay? So now what I do is I use this storage by Zapier, okay? So I use storage by Zapier, and what I do is I push value onto a list because I want to store a list of items. That list of items represents your order, okay? So now you can see the template. I've got a key. This key is what I'm going to use to actually fetch and look up your list or your actual order. So I just give it, and I give this key, I just give it a name of your user ID, your ManyChat user ID, because I know that's going to be a unique value dash order, because I also need this key to be a unique value because I'm going to have several keys in Zapier storage. Okay. So now I've got that key. So now I can just push an item onto the list. So I'm just going to push this at the end of the list. And this was that food order. So this is a custom field in ManyChat that gets updated whenever you click this button. Whenever you click this button right here. Whenever you click this button, like if you were to click this button inside ManyChat, you have a custom field called food order. So if you click, see mozzarella sticks was just added here. So if you click this button right here, it will literally set that food order value to mozzarella sticks, $11. And it will also set a custom value called item price, and it will set that to $11. And that's done, okay, because I've now pushed this, whatever you've added to your order, I've now pushed this onto that list. And then in my next step, what I'm going to do is I'm going to also use storage by Zapier. I'm going to increment a particular value, and the value that I'm going to increment is a key called, it's just your user ID. And I'm going to increment that value by the field by your custom field item price. So for whenever you clicked this button, I changed your food order value to whatever it is that you're actually ordering. And I also updated your item price custom field to $11. Now that $11 was just added to what is essentially your order total. Okay. So now what I've done is I've added the new line item onto your order list, and I've also incremented your order total by whatever it was that you just added. And then I send you back out a message that tells you, hey, this has been added to your order. Okay, which is what I've just done there. So now,
and if I were to add two things, it would be stored after each other in Zapier storage.
correct.
It's not overriding the other.
No, it's creating a list. So if you've seen what I've done here, I added margarita once, I added margarita twice, and I've added mozzarella sticks once. So now if I check out, I'm going to get a list back that's going to show me my order, and it's going to show margarita, mozzarella sticks. See? And it also shows me what my order total is, and now ask me if I still want to actually check out. Now here I could obviously go in, if this wasn't a demo bot, if this was a real bot, I'd put some no here, or I'd put some add more items, or I want more. I'd put some other call to action that would open back up my menu so a user could add more stuff. Okay, but you got the ideal here. So now once you do that checkout, literally what happens once you do that checkout is this right here. Once you do that checkout, that is also a zap being triggered. So whenever my restaurant bot triggers a checkout zap, then what I do is I just go in and I get that list of values. Remember that list of values that we were popping things on? I was adding things to that. I get that list of values, and then I just give it back. I just grab it so that I can use it later. Okay, so this literally gives me, this step right here is what literally gave me this right here. Okay, well, it didn't give me this. It gave me this, because this is that Zapier storage item. This is this. This is well, it's very similar. This is kind of a key pair, and this returns, whenever I do this, this returns this back as this output right here, because I put everything on a new line. So, but anyways, this is your custom storage object here. This object right here, user ID -order, it contains that, because in our other Zap, add to order, we're pushing values onto this list. We've made this thing a list, and in our other Zap, we're just pushing new values on. So see, if I come in and do menu, and I go now to the food menu, and ManyChat's actually working at speed right now. So now I want to go in and get Mom Spaghetti, because I know Mom Spaghetti's really good. So now I'm going to add this to my order. I'm going to get some confirmation back from Zapier saying, hey, Mom Spaghetti's been added to your order. Now I'm going to do checkout. Now it's going to show me the same list as before. It's going to show me the same list, but it's going to have Mom Spaghetti listed there. See?
Yes.
And it's incremented my order. That's because all that's right here.
And why is it that you use? Can you only do this in storage, or could you have done it with the Google Sheets also?
You could. You could do it with Google Sheets, but with Google Sheets, it's going to be a real pain in the ass to do it with Google Sheets, because in Google Sheets, you can only look up rows. Okay, so you can't look up multiple rows. You can only look up rows. So it's just going to be it's going to be a huge pain to look up Google Sheets, especially if you want to, let's say you wanted to allow your user to go in and remove this last item, right? They just added this, and you want to allow them to just remove this because they made a mistake or they don't want it anymore. Well, if you were using Google Spreadsheets, it's going to take a lot of logic, and it's going to be something that's almost impossible for you to do inside Zapier. So the storage is just more user friendly whenever it comes to writing logic. And plus, I mean, that's what it is. It's a storage object. So it's basically a very lightweight version of a database, of a cloud database.
I think I have to look into that instead.
Yeah, storage is just a much easier way to actually store stuff. So, but you can see that storage is getting added to whenever I add stuff to it, okay? And you can clear it out as well. If I was to go in and say clear order, then now my whole order is going to be cleared. And if you watch, and if I say checkout, see, now my order was cleared. Now if I say checkout, now it's not gonna give me back any order. It's not gonna return me back any order. So here I need to actually add some logic to say, hey, now if you remember here, before we had this extra step. You said, hey, it said let's get you checked out. Then there's this extra step with your actual order, and then it asks if you're ready to check out. Here, there is no extra step. Why? Because you have no order, because you just cleared it. So now if you do menu, and then let's just go get some dessert, and we'll get this cake. Thank you so much. So now let's go in and add this brownie to our order. Actually, let's do that again. Now that was just confirmed. Now if we check out, now you'll see that additional messages right there, and you can see your order's now only one line item, and it's only $8.
That's very nice.
And now this
makes sense.
Now this continues. You want to continue. Well, let's just say, hey, this is a pickup. Now let's say, hey, get notified on Facebook. Now basically what's happened here is I want to say sometimes I really don't pay attention whenever I'm doing stuff for people, and whenever I go create things, I don't pay attention to what Google account I'm actually logged into, and I log into a bunch of them all during the day. So sometimes things aren't where they should be, but this one is in this restaurant bot order. You see this order right here? It was placed on today's date just now for brownie and ice cream. That's me. Okay, total $8. That's that order that I just placed. So now if I go in and say that this is cooking, now what will happen is if I come here and if I go to this Facebook notify, no, well, I think it should be status. Yeah, it should be this guy right here. If I run this zap right here, you'll see that this was ran, and you'll see that he just got a notification through Facebook that his order status has been updated to cooking. So now if you're a restaurant, you could get all these online orders, and you could go in and just pipe them out to your spreadsheet and just have that spreadsheet open on a computer, and you can see, hey, you got a new order for brownie and ice cream, and then you can go in and update the status that, hey, you've acknowledged this order, or that you've canceled this order, or that this order is being cooked, or that this order's done, or this order's out for delivery or ready for pickup or whatever. And then the user is going to get notified through Facebook that, you know, they can come pick up their order, or their order's out for delivery, or
very nice.
And there's obviously more than one way to skin a cat. I mean, there's more than one way to do any of these things. And ideally, the bot just serves as a demo, but any of these things can be implemented for a real restaurant, and these demos just show what's possible. Now, like I said, each function can be accomplished in multiple different ways, and the only way you can really know what the best way to do that function is to talk with the restaurant owner and find out what softwares are they using already, how are they handling online orders already, if they are, if not, what would they be comfortable, how many processes would they be comfortable with, you know, what type of resources are they going to have manning that station. So you're going to have to find out information like that to be able to figure out what is the best way to actually implement this. Because some restaurants this may not work for them, just piping stuff out to a spreadsheet. That may not be a good solution for them. But you're not going to know what the solution is until you actually ask them what they want you to, how they want it done.
No. Great. Could I ask you just one quick question also?
Yeah, of course.
About birthdays. I was wondering if like a restaurant were to notify a person a week before his birthday that they could come and pick something up. Would you add their birthday to Google Calendar or to the spreadsheet?
Yeah, I would say you'd want to do it to a Google Calendar, and that's already done in this bot. Okay, if you look at this bot, whenever you first come into this bot, the first thing that he asks you is if you want to get free drinks or dessert on your birthday. Okay, that's the very first thing he asks you. Do you want free drinks or dessert on your birthday? If you say yes, then he's like, cool, we'll celebrate your birthday. What day is your birthday? Mine's actually on June 26th. So now that has just actually triggered it. Now, this is actually not triggered a Zap yet, not until you pick this. So I'd rather have drinks. So now this has actually triggered a Zap. Now this has given you as a restaurant owner, the person checking out this bot, this has given you some useful information of how this is helpful, how this birthday offer is actually helpful. And it's really helpful because now you just got a good demographic about this guy on what to send him promotions for. If you need to send him promotions on happy hour, or if you need to send him food specials, what he's more likely to convert on. But anyways, now what's just happened is that your birthday calendar has just got a new entry. And that guy has been added to your calendar. And I don't think it's this. I don't think it's this. You see, this is actually one of my calendars that is coming from that bot whenever somebody's actually doing a meeting from my bot. But I think this is in my other calendar, but it does this. It does this somewhere. Where it does that, it does just that whenever you, let me go in now that this is actually, let's see that. Now you see this guy has triggered whenever, as soon as you filled out what you wanted, this guy has triggered out this Zap called birthday gift. Mm-hmm. So now hopefully in here, well, I don't see him in there. He's somewhere. But literally it would be the exact same thing. Literally the exact same thing would be this guy would trigger out, he would trigger out that Zap, and that Zap would handle this guy's birthday and what he wants to do. And then you would have one of these on this meeting reminder that would just go in, and on an event start, you could go in and time before, you could make it, let's say 7 days before or a week before his actual birthday, that you're going to go in and send him some message that's going to say, hey man, it's your birthday coming up. Don't forget to come in for free drinks that we promised you or whatever, or for your free dessert.
Yes. And in the edit options in the ManyChat trigger, are you using the user ID to
not here
to get the right person? No,
not here, but you can see here, you see this is step 1 description for the, that's because whenever I actually schedule that birthday in the Google Calendar, in his description, because that description is a complete arbitrary field. So in that description, I pop in the ManyChat user ID. So now whenever
Okay,
the
great.
event fires off inside that event's description, I know the ManyChat user ID lives there, so I can fire off my reminder.
Great.
But yeah, that's totally possible and very, very useful for a restaurant.
Hmm.
But pretty much anything's possible. Like if you look at this bot here, and if you say, hey, find emails, and then you give this guy some email, like my company's email. So you see here on this website, you will see, let's go in and put that guy in there. And you'll see he just returned back an email address. And you'll see
I actually tried that on my own, and it didn't find any, but it suggested a sub page where there might be an email address. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, so this literally, you can see I've got this email address on my page, and it just popped that off. So if you look here, this is another one of the softwares that I built, and you can see this guy also. Well, these guys have actually changed that, so I can't show you that because they actually changed that order page that actually has their email. But this works for pretty much anybody, that you can go in and just put a web page, and it literally will just scrape that web page and find the emails and get it back. And that's literally just done. This is literally done through ManyChat.
Okay.
So anything you want is pretty much possible. If you look, this is done. That's done here. Where I should see this find emails. That's basically done here. Almost everything is done off this trigger a zap event. So whenever the bot triggers this find emails, then literally I just run this piece of JavaScript code. Now this is a little bit more advanced than most people care to do, but that's where I come in, where I could give you an engineer that can do it, or this you can even do just by Googling a little bit. So, but this just runs this custom piece of code that literally just grabs the web page that your user gave. It grabs it, injects it in here, and just scrapes that web page. It does a HTTP GET request, and then it just takes that raw HTML and matches it against a regex that looks for only email addresses. And if it doesn't find anything, it gives you back no emails found. If it finds something, it gives you back an array of the actual emails, and then it just sends a message back to you to let you know, hey, here's the emails that were found. So pretty much anything's possible.
That's cool.
You can see this says show me how right here. So I just clicked on that show me how. And what did my bot do? My bot realized that, hey, you're not a paying user. Okay. My bot just realized, hey, you haven't paid me to get this content. So my bot's suggesting that you go in and you pay this fee here of $10 a month to access all these advanced tutorials. This is one of my softwares that I've built. So it suggests that you do that. So if you were to actually go in and pay, then your email address would be added right here on this list. Okay, so I'm just going to add my own email address there. And then now I'm going to hit you're welcome, because now this guy is saying, hey, I've paid, so you're welcome for paying. So now he's going to go in and check, hey, did you actually pay? He's like, hey, let me check to see if you actually supported me. Did you actually make a payment? Now I see, hey, you did actually support me. Okay, so now I'm going to do that find emails again. Grab the same web page here. Ask him to search that web page. Okay, now I'll get this screen again. Now, if you remember last time on that screen, I said, show me how. and this guy said, first pay me, right? He said, I'll show you how, but first you need to pay me. So now I paid him. Now I'll hit show me how. Now I can see, hey, I've got no problem showing you this content. Now I'll actually go in and give you the premium content on how to actually do that. So now the bot is actually a membership bot where he has a bunch of content that's premium content, and that content is only delivered to people who have actually paid to have access to that premium content. So now he didn't actually give you the content, and the reason he didn't give you the content is because I physically have not made the content yet to put in there. So I haven't actually recorded the demo on how that find emails is all set up. But you can see now this bot's just turned into a paid membership bot where you can put your content inside the bot, and people can ask you for the content just like this guy did. He asked me for the content, and I'm going to let him ask me for the content, and I'm going to tell him, hey, look, I'll give you this content, but you need to go in and you need to first sign up to get these advanced bot how-tos. And once you sign up for that, then all that content will be unlocked. So now if you go in and actually sign up for that, whenever you ask me for any of these pieces of content, now I'll deliver those content to you because you have a paid membership.
Okay. And it's only through the invoices and all that. There's no like the cards and other banking systems is not there.
No. It just runs through this invoicing platform that I built. So this invoicing platform allows you to go in and do something like.
Yeah, but what I mean is you can't pay through the MasterCard, let's say, or something like that.
This pays right through MasterCard. You just put in your credit card information. You want to use your MasterCard, put in your MasterCard.
And it goes from your invoice.
Yeah. So you just go in, you see, hey, here's this product invoice. This is for 1 hour of one-on-one mini chat training. So the same thing I'm doing for you guys right now for free. This is for 1 hour of that to pay for it. So if you hit pay now, it literally what it does is it renders up this page on your mobile device because this comes right through mini chat, and then you just hit pay. You just hit pay now, and this pops up, and you just go in and pay. And then this is all done right in Messenger. So. And then this money is collected through this invoicing platform and delivered right into your bank account because it's all run through Stripe.
Okay. So, and the details of this I can find out on this how-to bot, yeah? On this demo bot.
Yeah, correct.
Sort of, yeah. And the tiny question going back to like the more basic stuff. Is there any chance to use the keywords in a, like, depending on where you are in the dialogue, or they are just the same?
No, I wish. And, I've asked MiniChat for that. I've asked MiniChat to introduce a concept called a conversation or a thread, because that's what's actually necessary for that. You need to actually have a user tagged in a particular dialogue and say, hey, I want to start a conversation with this person. And then you need to be able to go in and give your keywords as conversational keywords and say, hey, that way you could have the keyword yes 5 times, but the yes would be relative to the conversation that the user was currently into. But no, in MiniChat, you can't do that right now. I'm sure they'll add that support in. I'm sure they'll add it in, but in their platform, you can't do it right now.
Okay. And what sorry, back on the restaurant reservations. If I want to say, because it works on your like reservation for next Wednesday, how do you translate next Wednesday to the Google Calendar or to any calendar?
Google does that already within natural language processing. So if you were to schedule this and say, hey, I want to do this next Wednesday at 5 p.m., Google would automatically translate next Wednesday 5 p.m. into a Unix timestamp. So Google does that for you automatically.
Where do you put it? Because to the Zap, you have to put there the specific times and dates, no? Or how do you translate it to the Zap?
No. The Zap just sends your user input. So if you look here.
No, I mean, if the user writes next Wednesday, then how do you translate next Wednesday so you can input it to the Google Calendar?
Google does that automatically. So,
but through the Zap, how do you run it through the Zap?
You just so all you do is here I collect whenever I ask you this question, when do you want to book this? I just give this as a free text called reservation time. Okay.
Okay.
Now This is a free text. So if the user puts in next Wednesday at 5 p.m., this reservation time custom field will contain next Wednesday at 5 p.m. So you literally just give Google as the start date next Wednesday at 5 p.m. Google's inbuilt natural language processor will convert next Wednesday at 5 p.m. to a Unix timestamp for you automatically.
No, I got the Google can do it, but between what we look at now, the screen, and the Google Calendar, there is this Z. That, I mean, you know, when you trigger the action on the Z, you have to put there the ManyChat, and then you put there the action, and the action asks you to which calendar you want to put it, and then starting time and the ending time. Or am I missing something?
Well, if I can find that zap, I would show you real quick. But yes, you're missing something, because when I trigger this zap, I already know your start date. Okay, I already know your start date because you've given it to me. Now you've expressed it as a text. You have expressed that as next Wednesday at 5 p.m. But I can give next Wednesday at 5 p.m. into my zap to the Google Calendar as the start date, and it will automatically translate that.
Yeah, no, sure. But how? My question is how? Because like, where do you write next Wednesday? To which zap or to which Google thing you write next Wednesday? Because my Google or whatever Google I tried it, it asks me starting point, making in a dates, and ending point. Or here, yeah, you have the. Okay, here we are back on this. You can't find. Yeah, I understand. Sorry.
No, you're fine. This guy right here. This guy
What's
right
that? It's the calendar teacher. Yeah.
This is a text object. Okay, look at this guy. Users custom field meeting time. Users custom field meeting time. He doesn't have a meeting time actually set. Okay, but this would be a text. This would be next Wednesday at 5, and Google will automatically, if you put text, if you literally put this in here, next Wednesday at 5 p.m., Google will translate that for you as a date. If you put 2 Wednesdays from now, Google will translate that for you automatically.
Okay. Yeah. Now I got it.
Now you got it. There's nothing that you need to do. You just need to hold the text object as a custom field, and then give that custom field to Google and let Google translate it for you.
Yeah. And speaking about the custom fields, you have to be very careful because on one side, the offer of the custom fields, there's like 4 options, and then somewhere else there's like 7 of them. Yeah. And you can't mix it up. Like I said something. Like you have to be very careful what sort of custom field you're using, because if you confuse the 2 of them against, then yeah, like here, I mean, you have 7 options or whatever.
Correct. You're saying you have 7 options here, but if you actually come here and you look at the settings and you look at custom field and you want to add a new custom field, you don't have that many settings. That's correct. So you do have to be a little careful there to make sure that, but most of these are going to be text. This is text. This is text. This is text.
But I think there's no location. I think, or something is missing in numbers. I think there's either some. I think it's a something numbery, which is missing from the other one.
Yeah, you have just here text, number, date, time, and true and false. Almost every one of these.
Have a location, for example. Yeah.
Right. That's because the location is a text. It's a string of a latitude and longitude, so it is a text object. The reason that you don't have those, okay, is because what these are in computer science is these are data objects, okay? That's what these are. These are like actual data objects. They're called primitive data types. So these are primitive data types, and these are not primitive data types. These are a human representation of a piece of data that could fit inside a primitive data type. So if you don't have a degree in computer engineering like me, it becomes then you do need to actually be careful. But if you understand a little bit about computers and programming language, then you can easily just go in and convert this to what its primitive data type would be, and then you would know what the corresponding data type needs to be here, like a URL. Well, what's the URL?
Yeah, no, but the problem is you can't change it. Once you put a custom field at the beginning,
can't change it. You can't change it, can't delete it. Yep, that I don't understand why. I honestly don't understand why that's like that. I understand why you can't change it. Okay, that I do understand why you can't change it, because if you were to change it, and let's say you had a Boolean value, or let's say you had a textual value and you want to change that now to a number. Well, if ManyChat doesn't do their work on the back end and scrub the database of all your current values and somehow either null them out or convert that text to an actual number, then what's going to happen is now whenever they try to access that custom field, it's literally going to crash the server, because it's going to throw an error because you have the wrong data type stored in a database. So I can understand them not allowing you to update it, because it's going to create a lot of administrative data cleaning on the back end on their side and on your side. Because now imagine you got 100 people with that custom field that's a text, and you want to change that to a number. Now you're either going to lose that data, or you need to go one by one and convert that data and tell me what is the numeric value for this textual data. So I can understand that. I don't understand why they don't let you delete it though. But
yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, no, because what I did is I put that date like at the bot settings, and the date doesn't have a corresponding thing on the other one, and I didn't know what to put in the number or something, and actually it wasn't working. So that's sort of my tragic. Here is the date,
right,
or the other way around. I don't know. Maybe here's not a date. Yeah.
No, over here you've got a date. You've got a date, yeah. and you've got a date and time.
Yeah, but, and this doesn't. It's not here.
Correct. This would be a text. If you want to store a date here, you have to pick a text.
You really, and then it will work because okay. Yeah, because I think I crashed it because I put the date there and then I put the numbers and then it wasn't working. So now, okay, so the text will be the corresponding thing to here.
Correct. If you put a number, it's going to want an all numeric value, which means you're not going to have your special character delimiters like you would in a date, hyphens or backslashes.
Okay, got it. Okay, I understand that the whole magic. Well, okay. Well, there was I was curious. I wanted to do something along the side of the location thing, and some other things. And I was wondering if I can hire somehow. So how does this work?
Yeah. If you want to hire me, you can find me on Upwork, and if you want to hire me on Upwork, so if you just go to Upwork and search my name, which is John Vaughn, you'll find that I'm on Upwork, and I actually have a very impressive Upwork profile. So you can hire me right on Upwork if you want, or you can just send me a private message. I bet you can see on Upwork I'm top rated on their platform, so got a 98% success rate. I'm one of the top rated freelancers on their platform. You can see that people have given me 5-star reviews after paying me $16,000 or $13,000. They still will say after paying me $13,000, I'm the best freelancer that they've ever hired. So you can hire me right on Upwork, or you can just actually send me a personal message. You can just PM me here at this page if you just search that page, and then we can just have a chat about it.
Yeah, sure. Okay, I'm connected there. Okay, well, super. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. Is there anything else you want to go over right now?
Well, I'm running out of time because I'm in the Europe zone and I have to dash out. So. Okay.
Okay. Well, during the live training, we're having the live training too, starting on the 22nd, starting on the 2nd of December. We'll be having the live training. I'll probably have a couple more impromptu training sessions just like this one. But starting the 22nd, we'll be doing 7 hours, or starting on the 2nd, we'll be doing 7-hour training sessions every Saturday in December. And it's going to be live training just like this, where you're going to say, hey, how do I do this? Or how do I do this? Or how can I do that? And I'm literally just going to go in and show you how to do it. If you need me to actually build the entire sequence and watch me do it, then we'll be doing that as well. And then we've got some guest speakers that will come in for 1 or 2 hour training sessions. So there's 5 guest speakers that will come in, 1 on each Saturday for either 1 or 2 hours. and they're specialists in a specific niche that is related to messaging marketing, either in content publication and curation, or in sales processes, or in Facebook advertising or digital marketing, stuff like that. So you guys will be able to pick their brains. Of even the CEO of ManyChat's going to be there.
Okay.
And I can definitely see how I can get something out of that. But what drives you? Why are you doing this?
So to be quite honest, the reason that I'm doing this is because I run this company here, and we're a software firm. We don't have any marketers. We don't pay. I've got 30 engineers that work for me, and literally every single person that works in my office has a degree in software engineering, including my HR. So the person in charge of marketing is me, and I'm a software engineer. So anyways, what I've been doing lately is I've been subscribing to people who are like marketing gurus and internet marketing gurus. And every one of them has said like the very first thing that you need to do is create this very valuable content packet so that you can collect people's email addresses and get them comfortable with you, so that eventually they can convert to your brand and become a paying person. Like, let's say you want to pay me to build a bot, or you want to hire my company to build a bot. First, you need to get some very valuable piece of content that establishes some trust sequence. So like literally out of 100 marketers that I've listened to their webinar or got their ebook, they've all said the same thing. So I just decided during Christmas time, I'm going to give myself a Christmas present, and I'm going to create that valuable piece of content to start that process, so that come the first quarter of next year, I've got all that in place. And since I really love doing bots, and I love to build bots, and I do it in my spare time for fun, and I'm really good at building it, I thought that would be the best piece of content for me to create, especially because it's so trendy right now and everybody's so interested in it.
That makes sense. Great.
Okay, so if you guys don't have any other questions, then we can jump off, and I'll just see you at the next training. If you do have any other questions, just let me know.
Well, it's helpful.
Okay, thank you.
Can you find the text anywhere? Can you find a tag and delete it? I can't find text in ManyChat.
What do you mean text?
Like if I've given someone in an action, I've given them a tag called whatever, they like beans or something. I've given them this tag, and then I can use that, but I can't find the tag anywhere in it's not like a custom field. I can't find it anywhere.
Yeah, you can. You see my screen?
Yes.
You just go to audience, come up here to filter by a condition, and then pick tag. Let's say I'm going to pick by enrolled tag. So now all these people are just people who have the tag that's enrolled. If you want to, you can bulk action, and you can remove a tag, or you can add another tag, or subscribe them, or do any of these bulk actions. But you can filter people just by tags here, just in the audience section.
Nice. I didn't know that. That was what I was looking for. Great.
Yeah, you can definitely do it.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So I'll see you. I'll see you on the live training, if not before then. Okay.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.